Chewers, it's Ashley from Chewing with Chew. Welcome back. This week we're focusing on the upcoming holiday season. Not only do we have Thanksgiving, but we have Christmas coming up, and our wine term for this week was actually wine pairing. So we're focusing on some common holiday dishes that we can pair our wines with. So if you're like me, well, probably not a food and wine vlogger, but you care about both your food and your wine. You definitely want to find a wine that doesn't overpower your food, but actually brings out the best notes of both. So hopefully this guide can help make your wine shopping list a little bit easier this holiday season. So I will admit that I'm kind of biased because I'm showcasing foods that me and my family normally enjoy. However, if there's other items that you and your family are just like, absolutely has to be there for Thanksgiving, this absolutely has to be there for Christmas, not a problem. Leave them in the comments below, or shoot me a DM, and I'll be sure to send you suggestions of wine pairing. Try to select varietals that should be pretty easy to find in most places that wines are sold. And I also tried to include a selection of not only white wines, but red wines, not only dry wines, but sweet wines as well. Hopefully you'll like at least one of the varietals that I suggested, or at least be willing to try it. So let's start from the tippy top. So it's Thanksgiving. I'm sure all of us are gonna have turkey on the table. My family is not really big into eating turkey, but for some reason, every Thanksgiving we have a turkey. Whatever, it is what it is. My top pick for one that pairs wonderfully with our turkey that we'll be having this holiday season is of course an oaked Chardonnay. So one of the most basic rules of wine pairing is we're gonna pair our white wines with our lighter meats. But this full-body white wine has so much to offer besides just being a white wine. It's Thanksgiving, it's the holidays, so we're gonna have a mix of foods on our plates. And one thing that I love about Chardonnays is that this full-body wine pairs wonderfully with a lot of flavors, which is gonna be that mix of flavors that we're gonna have on our plate. My family is also a big fan of honey baked hams. I don't know why. My top wine pick for pairing honey baked ham with wine is of course Zinfandel. So this fruit-forward red wine offers a congruent pairing to the sweetness that we normally expect in most of our holiday hams. Also, if you're like my family, we typically drizzle our ham with like a cherry glaze. And what's one dominant note that you'll find in Zinfandel? Cherry. So of course, perfect match. Now to move away from the meats, if you are a mac and cheese lover, you may want to pair your wine with mac and cheese. Now let me be very clear, I'm totally not one of those people that can sit there and eat a whole bowl of mac and cheese by itself, but if you are, this is for you. For this particular pairing, I focus more on our creamy baked macaroni and cheese. So in addition to Chardonnay, which also pairs wonderfully with mac and cheese, I suggested a dry or off-dry Riesling. So this sparkling white wine adds a bit of crispness that totally takes you by surprise, but trust me, you'll absolutely love it. One thing that I love about Riesling and mac and cheese is that the acidity in the wine helps like cleanse your palate and really enhance the flavors of your mac and cheese. Literally, the acidity in this wine cuts straight through the cheese and really leaves you with something absolutely wonderful. Not to mention, acidity in wine is known to increase your appetite. So I would definitely suggest this right in between maybe like round 2 and like round 3, just so you can go back for another plate. Last but not least, let's dive into dessert. Rule number 1 for pairing your wines with your dessert is you definitely want your wine to be sweeter than the dessert itself. My family typically ends the night off with a port because number 1, it has a high ABV, and this is a great transition into the games that we typically play after dinner. Not to mention, port pairs wonderfully with a pumpkin pie, which we tend to have on our table for Thanksgiving. And I mentioned previously that my family absolutely love ports. So it is no surprise that this is definitely on my top holiday pick wine pairing list. So if you haven't added this sweet fortified wine to your holiday must-have list, I think it's a good time to try it. With the pandemic, I know it's a crazy time, but hopefully you get to spend some time with your family, great food, and wine. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week. Bye guys.